Hello everyone, this is Betsy from Ideas Times 2. Welcome to our channel. Today I have a tutorial how to make this one signature junk journal with a file folder cover and a flap. So in the previous video I had made just the cover without a flap and asked if you guys wanted to see a tutorial with the flap, and you did. So here we are. We'll show you how to do that today. Very simple and fun to do. So I'm going to unwrap this in case you didn't see it before. This journal will be for sale. I will put it in the shop today, but it's a little bit of a Valentine's theme. As so you can see, it's decorated in the front, on the spine, and on the flap bendy part. There's fabric reinforcement, and then there's an image on the back to kind of make that more sturdy as well. Like, this would totally be optional, but I like the look of it that way, and it does help it make it a little sturdier. And then on the inside cover we also have like cardstock here and cardstock here and fabric here and fabric on the regular spine as well. So a couple different ways to make the file folder a little bit sturdier. And it's just fun. It's just fun to make it pretty it up a little bit, I guess. So, and then I just have a tie closure, which I won't tie it back up so that I can refer to it if I need to, which I probably will. So today I decided to make a bee theme. I'm going to make a bee journal. I haven't made one for such a long time. I'm so happy to do it again. I was looking through my stuff, and I actually didn't have as much bee paper, didn't have as many papers to choose from, so I was kind of annoyed with myself because I thought I had a lot more stuff, but I found enough things to work with, and I think it'll be fun to start using up all the stuff I had in the first place, right? So this is a standard file folder, US size, and it is, I think it's a little bit over 11.5 inches. Yes, and including the tab, it is, I think, 9.5. Yes, 9.5. Okay, so that's sort of the standard size that's available everywhere. And we're going to make the cover out of this, and it's a perfect size to make a regular signature with the US size paper of 8.5 by 11 paper. Is just folded in half, and that's all you need to do. You don't need to cut them down or anything. So depending on your paper size, it will be the size of your cover. So you can definitely make it any size, as long as it's not too big, obviously, because your papers are probably not going to be giant size papers, but you can make it any size. Like if you wanted to make a little, a shorter one with like shorter pages, you could do it. You could make it whatever size you'd like. Okay, so this side is already a little shorter than this side, so I'm going to consider this to be my back, and the flap that'll wrap around, and this will be my front. And then this is the height, and our spine is literally the fold. Okay, so the height of the journal. My papers, as I mentioned, are 8.5 inches, so I'm going to make my height 9 inches, and then that will be a 1/2 inch difference. That'll be give me a 1/4 inch on the bottom and a 1/4 inch on the top of extra room for that cover. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that just high, and I'm keeping my tabs, so I've got my tabs right here. Make sure to, whatever cutoffs you have, make sure to save those, because these are so handy for making tags or pockets or tuck spots, or all kinds of things. Okay, all right, so now we have the height of our book. Obviously it's way too big on this front cover, because the front cover is about even with the papers, right? Like that. So we need to cut just the front cover, not the back. We're going to just cut the front, and so this part is the part that's going to come off. I'm going to put my fold right at, so the papers are 5.5 inches across, 5.5 inches this way. So I'm going to cut my front cover to be, let's see, 5.5, 5 3/4. I'm going to do 5 3/4 for my front cover. That'll make it just 1/4 of an inch bigger in width than the papers. And also, you'll notice, so I folded these together and you can see that they're uneven, so I will be cutting that off and making it more even. That will help with the folding of the journal as well. So I'm lining up my fold of the front cover with the 6, I decided 5 3/4. So that'll be the 5 3/4 mark, and I've got some lines on my cutter, so I'm just using those. And then I'm going to cut this off. Keep this too. Fact is, this is probably the one we're going to use. We're going to reinforce our flaps, so we're going to need one of these cut-off pieces here. And there you have it. So this will be our cover, basically. And then I like to round the corners, so we'll do that. Just saves wear and tear on those corners. Keeps them from folding over. And here on the flap, I'm going to do the same thing. And then this part already has the little notchy thing there. I love using the tab, but you don't have to. I just like the look of it. I think it's kind of cool. All right, and then what we're going to do is we are going to score the back cover in this area right here so that it folds over nicely without, giving it a real sharp crease. So I'm going to take my score tool. I'm going to line this up with any old notch there, and then just go over 1/8 of an inch from this edge, and I'm going to be scoring just the back cover. Okay, so go over about 1/8, one notch, in other words, and then just go down. That's perfect. Great. And then just go, let's see, how many more lines should we make? I usually do about 3/4 of an inch or so altogether. I'm just kind of eyeballing it, and then I'll let you know how many I made. I think we'll go one more. Okay, so altogether I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Altogether I made 7 little grooves in my paper. And then what I usually do is sort of just take a roundy object and just kind of fold that and get it nice and used to actually bending a little bit without the sharp crease. And you can do that a couple times during the whole process whenever you think it needs it. But if you have all these little score lines in it, it should fold over nicely for you. And we're going to be reinforcing that with fabric as well. But that's the underneath layer, and that'll help the bendy process. Okay. And then let's see what we should do here. All right, so I think we'll go ahead and decorate the outside cover. So I mentioned I wanted bees, really want bees. So I picked out, actually we're gonna do the fabric first. So I'm gonna do the fabric here on our natural fold, which is our spine, and then here where we put in the grooves on the outside cover. So we're gonna do fabric first, and I have a reason for that. So I had to think about that for a second. And I picked this fabric. It's honeycomb, only in blacks and grays, which you don't see very often. I cut these about 2.5 inches wide. What I'm going to wind up doing is putting the image over the top, so that I did that here too. I put the image over the top of the fabric so you can see the fabric is bigger underneath or longer underneath. So I kind of liked the look of that, since this is a relatively smallish type book. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those down. And if you're new to this channel, let me just mention this. So I usually put like a very lightweight interfacing. I iron it on. It's a fusible type. I iron it onto the back of my spine fabrics or fabrics that I'll be gluing on to something else. And that's just for me because that helps me so that the glue doesn't seep through the fabric, but it's totally optional. And don't feel like you have to do that. Like you have to run out and buy some interfacing, but I just wanted to explain it because if I flip it over, you're gonna see it and you're gonna go, what is that? If you have not been on this channel before. So all I'm doing now is putting glue all over this. I'm using okay, that's one side, and then we'll do the next. And my fabric is just ripped. I like that look as well. And it's a junk journal, so totally allowed to rip fabric. Totally allowed. I like it a little fringy and a little bit longer actually than the cover too, so it's a little bit longer up here and down here. Centering it side to side and top to bottom. And this one you're going to just want to center it on all those little ridges that you made. You can see it a little better on this side. Okay, and then just smooth it out. Looks like I'm going to need to cut my fabric a little bit, which is so it's fine, just no big deal. So give that a little haircut. All right, looking good. So this is what we have so far. We've got our book cover with the flap, right? And then we're going to continue on with the outside cover. So so that'll be good. I'm going to stitch around the whole cover, ink it up. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. So here is, I did sew around the outside edge of the whole cover and inked the edges both on the inside and the outside here. Now, so if you don't prefer to sew or you don't have a sewing machine, sewing is totally optional, totally optional. Don't worry if you can't or don't want to do that. Not a problem at all. So I showed you the couple of pages I had planned on the cover, so I did glue those together and made a little collaged front, and I did some wonky stitching around the outside edge of that. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and glue that on. And I did the same wonky stitching on that, and that's going to be for the back. And I might wind up putting a tiny little collage on there or something too. Nothing fancy. I think it would be really cool to put a pocket on the back with a tag. I think that would be cute too. Especially because it's a smaller journal, not as much room on the inside for different, you know, pockets and ephemera and that kind of thing. So that might be kind of a cool touch on the back. I think that would be neat. But I can decide on that later. Doesn't have to be done right now. Just want to kind of show you the bare bones here. All right. So you can see it's a nice sturdy piece here, and that's going to really strengthen our cover. And I haven't decided on, I think I have a bee ribbon actually. I might just use a ribbon closure again. And I can't remember what color, if it's white with gold bees or black with gold bees. Anyway, I have a bee ribbon, so I think that'd be really cute. I didn't think about that till just now. All right, and so then this is the back cover, where this is, I think I showed you this already too. This is the, I inked around the edges as well as the sewing part. But yeah, this is made out of cardstock. I printed it on cream colored cardstock. And I don't have a comparison to know, but I figured it would be fine to use it since it's a gold color, looking more vintagey looking than just, and which way do I want to do it? Maybe do the, okay, so now this one, you'll just have to, so I measured mine, I mean, as I measure it here, it's 5 inches. You can come fairly close to your fold, your spine, and then feel where your little ridges are and make sure you're not covering any of those ridges. Just like that. Just like that. I have some bee ephemera. I could maybe glue, you know, glue a little collage type thing on the back there. But I wanted the gold because I wanted it to contrast with the spines. All right, so I need to finish this now. And this is the part that wraps around. Right, so I thought I would just take the, I'm not going to try to like match the bee or anything. But this is part of the paper that I ripped off from this picture. So I'm going to, I think I'm going to glue that on, but it's going to need a background because this paper is not very big. It's about 1 inch too short. So I'll put this here and then put this on top. So I'm going to go ahead and rip that and make sure it's the right size and see if I can't cover this up too, because I don't think this paper is also big enough for that. So we'll see what I can come up with for that, and then I'll be back in a second. Alright, so the strip doesn't need to be too long. You want to feel for your little ridges and make sure you're not going to interfere too much with that bend part. But, so actually mine wound up to be around 2¼ inches, and then I made a little notch here for the tab part. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to leave this part, because it's 2 separate little pieces of paper there. I'm happy with this, but I don't know if I'll maybe make a label for this or not. I'm not sure. I think that would be cute, but I did put a kind of a generic piece of paper there, and then I can always build on that if I want to. So it's going to fold over and look like that. Alright, so I'm going to glue that on. I think that'll be cool. It's kind of nice that the file folder is really contrasting with this black. I like that look of that. Alright, so there's the outside of our cover done. Loving it. Loving it. Okay, let's do the inside. The first thing, we're going to get this flap reinforced. We're just going to add another layer of file folder, one of your cutoffs. On my other one, it was about 3 inches. This journal is actually a tiny bit smaller than this one too, but it was about 3 inches, and I'm trying to see if that was, yeah, that's including the tab. So including the tab, it would be 3 inches this way. So let's see, this one is almost exactly 3 inches. So it's about the same. So I'm going to glue that on like this. And then this file folder tab. Oh my goodness, that would look kind of cool, wouldn't it? So I might leave that file folder tab on there. Maybe I'll do that. I think that'd be really cute. So I'm going to do that. I might, need to trim a little bit off this notchy bit here, but I think that'd be really cool. So I'm going to do that. But This is just to reinforce that flap, which will, you know, be folded over a lot, and it'll have a wrap around it and everything. So this is just to make it sturdier and give it a little, like, give the tab a little reinforcement and all that. So I think it's a good move. I don't really think you'd have to, especially if you're going to put cardstock decorative paper on here as well. But I really like the way it added a little extra support. So we're going to do that. And then on this, I tried not to glue like right to the edge there. On this, I think I'm going to do that. I think that's going to be interesting. Haha, we'll find out. Just give it a little extra hanging out there. Oops, I forgot this part shows. That's the good thing about Fabri-Tac and Fabri-Fix, is that it's pretty easy to get off, right, especially right away. It kind of acts like, what you call it, rubber cement, I guess. There we go. And then I'm just going to round this like the regular notch is, and just round that just a tiny bit. I kind of like that, so I'll probably ink it. I need ink. I need ink so badly. I'm getting desperate. I'm going to ink it and see what it looks like plain, but I might put, you know, little scrap right there or something. But I kind of want to show that it's 2 layers of file folder. I think that's going to be fun. Or lace or something. Okay, so that I can decide later. I can just glue something on right there. Maybe my plan is to use, look at how cute this is. Ooh, so cute. So my plan is to use those for the spines, and then this for the paper. So I will speed this up so you don't have to watch me do that same thing. It's the exact same thing as we did on the back side. I will not be collaging on this though. This will just be plain papers. My camera wasn't on, so I'm running back. Just a real quick note what I'm doing with these papers. So the papers, I have them all cut, and they were a little rough on the edges, and so I put the folds together really tightly and put clips on it, and then I took my ruler, I lined it up with these lines here on the mat, and then I took my metal ruler and just ran the blade of this box cutter down without moving. It's sometimes helpful to stand up on this and then just run it down until you cut through all the papers and you have a nice smooth edge like this. So the next few minutes are me actually showing you how I'm doing that. and I'll continue to speed it up as well. And I'll just sew these papers right into the fold or the spine of that file folder. So I'll be back in real time in a minute. All right, here we have it. I have a little bit more finishing work to do. A little bit here, a little bit there, and then decide what I want to put on the inside covers, back and the front. But I did have, as I showed you before, I do have my ribbon, and I think that'll be really cute. I don't know if I'll tie it around a couple times, probably. That'll be cute. So that's it for today. That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please join us on our Facebook group. Show us pictures of your projects, and make sure to grab that slotted pocket so that so you can use it for all kinds of stuff. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and take care. We hope you have a great day, and keep on crafting, and especially if your land is covered with snow like mine, stay in and do a little crafting. Thank you so much, everybody, and we will catch you in the next video. Goodbye.